People who work in IT, what's the wildest thing you've discovered while at work? I work IT for a small accounting firm called Peterson & Associates. Last week, our main printer started acting up, printing random pages at 2 a.m. when nobody was in the office. At first, I figured it was just a driver issue, or maybe someone left a print job stuck in the queue. Happens all the time with our ancient HP LaserJet that's probably older than some of our interns. I've been putting off replacing it for months because the partners are cheap and it still works fine. But when I checked the print queue the next morning, I saw something that made my coffee go cold. The documents weren't coming from any computer in our network. They were being sent from an IP address I'd never seen before, 192.168.50.247. I traced it through our router logs and found someone was remotely accessing our printer from outside the building, not just pinging it, but actively sending print jobs every single night between 2 and 4 a.m. The traffic pattern showed consistent data transfers for the past 6 weeks. Here's where it gets absolutely insane. I decided to drive to the office that night and wait. At exactly 2:15 a.m., the printer fired up like clockwork. I watched it spit out page after page of our client tax returns, social security numbers, bank account details, investment portfolios, business loan applications, everything. My hands were literally shaking as I realized what was happening. Someone had hijacked our printer and was using it to steal our clients' most sensitive financial information. But why print it out when they could just download the files digitally? I immediately unplugged the printer and started digging through 6 months of security logs on our server. The breach went way deeper than I thought. They'd been quietly accessing our network through an old firmware vulnerability in the printer that hadn't been patched since 2019. Our firewall showed thousands of suspicious connection attempts. But the scariest part? They weren't just stealing data electronically. They were physically printing it out, which meant someone was collecting these documents from our office. Someone with access to our building. I called the FBI cybercrime unit at 6 a.m. sharp. Agent Martinez told me this was part of a massive identity theft ring they'd been tracking across 12 states. They were specifically targeting small accounting firms and law offices with outdated equipment and weak security protocols. The FBI set up surveillance immediately. They installed hidden cameras in our office lobby and printer room, plus had unmarked agents monitoring the building perimeter 24/7. I had to act completely normal and pretend nothing happened while continuing my regular IT duties. 2 nights later at 3:17 a.m., they caught him red-handed. A guy in blue maintenance coveralls using a master key to enter our building. He walked straight to our printer like he'd done it 100 times before, collecting the stack of stolen documents without even glancing around. Turns out his name was Marcus Webb, and he was the night maintenance supervisor for our entire office complex. He had master keys to 43 different businesses and had been running this identity theft scam for over 2 years across the whole building. When they raided his one-bedroom apartment, the FBI found over 2,000 stolen identities meticulously organized in filing cabinets by business name and date. Tax returns, medical records, legal documents, bank statements. He'd been systematically looting every professional office in the complex. Our firm had to send certified letters to every single client explaining the data breach. We paid for 2 years of comprehensive credit monitoring services and hired a cybersecurity consultant to completely overhaul our network infrastructure. The total cost exceeded $80,000. The federal investigation revealed Marcus had made over $400,000 selling stolen identities on dark web marketplaces. He's now serving 8 years in federal prison plus paying $2.3 million in restitution to victims. I got a $5,000 bonus for catching it, plus a promotion to head of IT security with a 25% salary increase. We replaced every piece of network equipment in the office, and now I'm paranoid about every weird printer error, unusual network traffic, or random device connection. The craziest part? Marcus had been working in our building for 3 years. I'd chatted with him dozens of times in the elevator and parking garage. He seemed like the nicest guy, always asking about my family, remembering my kids' names, and complaining about how late he had to work. Sometimes the biggest security threats come from the people you trust most. Now I question everything.